April 26, 1986. In the pre-dawn darkness, explosions ripped through Chernobyl's Reactor 4 in Soviet Ukraine. The blast hurled a 2,000-ton lid skyward, unleashing a pillar of fire and a deadly invisible poison. This was not just an accident, it was a cataclysm that would scar the world for millennia. Workers stared in disbelief at the gaping wound where the reactor had stood, graphite blocks glowing on the ground, a metallic taste in their mouths, the taste of radiation. Instruments failed, readings were off the scale, and the true danger was beyond comprehension. Operators reported a fire, not realizing the core was destroyed, a fatal misjudgment. In Pripyat, the nearby city, residents slept, unaware of the atomic nightmare unfolding just kilometers away. Pripyat, once a model Soviet city, was about to become a symbol of lost dreams. The air turned toxic, radioactive fallout settling silently over the city. The explosion would expose the fatal flaws of the Soviet system: secrecy, denial, and a disregard for safety. Chernobyl was more than a technical failure, it was a moral and political disaster. It was a story of human error and hubris, where truth was sacrificed for ideology. The world had changed forever, even if it didn't know it yet. The lesson would be written in fire, radiation, and silence. The Chernobyl plant was a Soviet pride. 4 massive RBMK reactors, powerful and cheap, designed to fuel both industry and the arms race. But the RBMK harbored deadly secrets, a positive void coefficient, making it dangerously unstable at low power. Instead of self-regulating, the reactor could spiral out of control with a sudden surge in steam. The control rods, meant to be a safety net, had graphite tips that actually increased reactivity before slowing it down, a fatal design flaw. In a crisis, the emergency shutdown could act as an accelerator. Most operators were never told about these flaws, their manuals omitted the reactor's dangerous tendencies. The state's obsession with secrecy left staff blind to the risks. They believed the RBMK was safe, a triumph of Soviet engineering. This ignorance was by design, not accident. The Soviet system valued secrecy over safety, leaving workers to operate a flawed machine in the dark. The seeds of disaster were sown long before that fateful night. Chernobyl was a catastrophe waiting to happen. On April 25, 1986, Reactor 4's crew prepared for a safety test meant to simulate a power failure. Delays forced the test into the night, leaving an inexperienced crew to manage a dangerously unstable reactor. Xenon buildup poisoned the core, making it hard to control. Under pressure, Deputy Chief Engineer Dyatlov ordered safety protocols overridden and nearly all control rods withdrawn, a reckless violation. The reactor was left fragile, stripped of its main brakes. Intimidated operators followed orders as alarms flashed. The test began. Steam to the turbine was cut, cooling water slowed and steam bubbles formed, the RBMK's fatal weakness. Power surged uncontrollably. At January 23, 40 a.m., the emergency shutdown button was pressed, a desperate, final act. The AZ5 button, meant to save the reactor, triggered disaster. Graphite-tipped rods entered the core, causing a massive power spike. In seconds, the reactor's output soared over 100 times normal. Explosions tore the reactor apart, flinging the massive shield aside and exposing the core. A geyser of radioactive material and fire erupted into the night sky. The core burned, a nuclear volcano spewing death for days. The control room was chaos, dust, steam, disbelief. Instruments gave nonsense readings, training had never prepared them for this. Operators reported the reactor intact, still trying to cool a core that no longer existed. The radioactive plume spread across Europe, 400 times more potent than Hiroshima. The poison drifted silently, obeying only the wind. Chernobyl's nightmare had begun. In the first hours, confusion and denial reigned. Firefighters rushed in, unaware they faced lethal radiation, not a simple fire. They battled flames on the roof, handling glowing debris, deadly graphite from the core. Within minutes, many suffered acute radiation sickness. Some absorbed fatal doses in the first hour. As heroes fought and fell, Soviet officials defaulted to secrecy. Management downplayed the disaster, reporting only a fire, not a reactor explosion. Bureaucracy and disbelief in Moscow delayed the truth. The radioactive plume spread while Pripyat's residents went about their day, oblivious to the danger. Children played, weddings took place, all breathing in radioactive dust. The state's failure to warn its own people was a profound betrayal. Thousands were condemned to illness and suffering. The wall of lies proved as deadly as the radiation itself. As the scale of disaster became clear, the Soviet Union mobilized over 500,000 liquidators, soldiers, miners, engineers, and civilians. Their mission contained the contamination, clean the land, and entomb the reactor. Firefighters and pilots dropped sand and boron onto the burning core, flying through radioactive plumes. Miners dug beneath the reactor to install cooling systems, enduring heat and radiation. Soldiers, bio-robots, cleared radioactive debris from rooftops, working only seconds at a time. Many had little understanding of the risks, with poor protection and faulty dosimeters. The official story was one of heroism, but the reality was sacrifice and suffering. Many liquidators developed cancers and other illnesses, often without proper care or recognition. They were the unsung heroes, absorbing radiation to protect millions. Their legacy is a stark reminder of the human cost of nuclear catastrophe. In the aftermath, the Soviet Union blamed the operators, putting them on trial to deflect from systemic failures. Only years later did the truth emerge. Chernobyl was the result of a flawed reactor, secrecy, and a lack of safety culture. The RBMK's hidden dangers and the absence of independent oversight made disaster inevitable. Chernobyl shattered the Soviet Union's prestige, fueling calls for openness and hastening its collapse. The disaster forced a global reckoning on nuclear safety and transparency. Today, Pripyat stands abandoned, the exclusion zone still among the world's most contaminated places. The health toll continues for generations in Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia. Chernobyl's ultimate lesson: with great power comes absolute responsibility for safety and truth. It is a warning humanity cannot afford to forget. The shadow of Chernobyl endures, a testament to the cost of secrecy and error.